listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Radio's authority on the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology, celebrating 25 years of broadcasting. Broadcasting around the world and to the great beyond.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. Yep, this is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Radio X, and satellite providers, as well as broadcast affiliates worldwide. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and our radio website where you can listen to the X-Zone 24/7, 365, as well as the live show Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guest this hour is Judi Lynch. Now, Judi is an internationally known psychic medium, healing energy channel, spiritual counselor, teacher, and author. Since 2007, Judi has worked with countless clients in the United States and from every continent around the world with personalized, in-depth spirit guide readings and high-vibration healing energy sessions. A featured guest on many radio stations, she has presented various workshops on psychic development and channeling healing energy. She works with other individuals and in online group events to heighten abilities through study of spiritual consciousness, energy channeling, ascension awareness, and meditation. Judi is the president of the Crystal Healing Foundation, Inc., a nonprofit dedicated to healing and spiritual evolution. She is a featured columnist for OM Times Magazine and has been writing for the publication since their beginning in 2009. Her website, www.psychicmediumjudilynch.com. And Judi, welcome to the X-Zone.
Thank you so much, Rob, and I am really excited to be here.
Well, we're excited having you here as well, Judi. Tell us, when did you first know or discover you had heightened awareness and psychic ability?
Well, I would have to say that as a child, I knew that there were things going on, but I really didn't know how to explain them. I remember distinctly when I was 4 years old seeing light. And when you remember that experience as a child and you carry it with you, you realize there's so much more to all these things that happened to you as a child that you may put away as a young adult. You come back to, and that's kind of what happened to me. I was able to see spirit that I knew were there, and I knew that other people could not see. And I remember astral traveling and knowing things that I shouldn't have known because I was not in the room. I just didn't know how to explain it.
Do you think that there are a lot of children who have these very same experiences that you had as a young person who do not realize or do not have the opportunity to utilize them, to nurture them, to develop them?
Absolutely. And hopefully that's changing as we evolve. But a lot of times, if a child doesn't know how to explain what's going on, they may not even be aware that this is something out of the norm. Because I remember thinking even when I was a teenager and having experiences and being able to hear my guide, that everybody could. They just weren't listening. And when I got older and began to realize no, not everyone is aware of their consciousness, of their spirituality. It made so much sense to me that somehow I had these channels open where my friends did not. And I had to learn that eventually, even though we all have these abilities within us, we certainly don't all know how to use them.
Judi, stand by. You and I have to take our first commercial break. We'll be back shortly. Exonation, our guest of this hour is Judi Lynch. Her website, www.psychicmediumjudilynch.com. And Judi and I will be back on the other side of the short break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you would like to listen to any of our past shows, all you have to do is go to our podcast site, www.xzonepodcast.com. It's that plain, it's that simple. And don't forget, you can watch Season 1 of the X Zone TV show with our compliments at www.xzonetv.com. I am Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
You're listening to the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
Judi Lynch is my guest this hour. Her website is www.psychicmediumjudilynch.com. And Judi, what are some of the most profound experiences you've had in communicating or in communication with spirit beings?
Well, I would have to say that what happened to me in 2006 would be one of the most profound things that's ever happened in my life, and that was by experiencing heightened energy and awareness by attending a New Age fair and talking to a woman who explained to me my abilities. And with her confidence, I went back home and I started working on channeling energy. Someone put a crystal in my hand and it just started flying, the energy, the frequency. And it was incredible. I started writing down messages. I was asking to speak to my guides. And I started writing a message for my next-door neighbor, who I had just met. They hadn't been there, I don't know, maybe a few months or so. And I knew their names, and I knew they had moved from Florida. I wrote down messages for her. I wrote down names, details, and I walked over and I started talking to her, and I told her what I had been doing, and she said, "Let me see your note." And I handed her my note, and she said, "My God, this is my mother who passed. This is her friend. This was our cat." And I had written down some things and some sayings, and she said, "This is what my cousin used to say to me all the time." And I knew at that moment that those abilities that I had felt so strongly as a young adult and a small child had woke up. And from then on, I knew that this was something that I was meant to do. I was supposed to continue with this and help other people connect, help other people understand that we are energy. The other side is really there, waiting to communicate.
Can you tell us about some of the experiences you wrote about in your book, Friends with Lights and a True Story?
Absolutely. In the book, I do talk about when I went to that fair and I came back and I started channeling. In that channeling, a soul came to me that I felt the energy completely different from my guides and those spiritual beings around me. And I called for help. This woman that I had met in Nashville. and her name is Dr. Louise Mallory Elliott. And I said, is it possible that I've got a friend who has not crossed into that light? He's a ghost. She said, absolutely. Absolutely, that part of his personality can still be here. He doesn't want to let go. He feels unfinished. And I asked, how can I help get him into that light? So I started working on that. And once I felt the energy change, he changed. I knew he had crossed into that light. And I began to feel even more energy coming through, and I began to do healing energy sessions with people.
What does it feel like when you're channeling, or when you're with spirit, when they decide that they are going to connect with you, that they are going to use you as the medium?
For me, what I learned how to do when someone put that crystal in my hand, I knew that I had to have a way to communicate to that energy I felt, because I could feel it all the way through my body. In that crystal and through my hand was the strongest. So I worked on that. I made my own little chart, my own little words, and I began to hold that there, the energy. And I was able to start writing messages, and that's how I began writing. And eventually, the more that I used that crystal, the more I could feel my body becoming the channel, and I didn't need it anymore. It fell right out of my hand. In fact, a minister came to me one day for a reading, and after he left, the energy was just incredible. And he said something to me that he said, people are seeing angels in the church. Is that normal? I said, you're the minister, you tell me.
Exactly.
Aren't people supposed to see these things? And after he left, the crystal fell out of my hand, and I never needed it again. I just was using the energy that I felt coming through my hand, and it seemed to focus now on my third eye, and I could hear through my audio. It was suddenly turned on. And I felt like, again, my frequency had been heightened. So as I've gone through helping different people and working with different people, the frequency changes, evolves, and you learn. And not only do you learn other people's themes and soul work, you also are working on your own at the same time. Believe me, it's a process that you go through of evolution. And, of course, I'm still learning, but it's incredible in the way that I can understand now what was happening to me as a child and as a teenager, and how losing people in my life was the catalyst actually to get me back to this, because when my father passed away, I was determined that I would find my way back to being able to communicate or feel, hear, and see. And by doing that, I realized so many other people out there were able to communicate in different ways and needed other channels turned on. Maybe their hearing,
right,
their ability to feel, their ability to see aura, light, energy. And since all that was happening to me at the same time, I thought, I can help with this. I can tell them my story, let them feel the energy, tell them some things about themselves, and they'll understand it's really true. I don't want to be alone in this. I don't want to do this myself. And I just began doing workshops and meeting people and telling them things and writing things down before I ever met them. So now when I do readings, most of the time I write things down before people ever either call or walk through the door. I've already got things written down, or a page or two.
Can you tell us, how do you receive the knowledge or validation on how to begin giving readings and healing sessions?
Well, I think at the beginning, what you do is you go to the people that are around you or that you're directed to, and once you receive that first validation, it changes something, and it gives you the courage and the confidence to know it's going to happen again. And so you're listening, and you're zoning in on that person. And that's one thing I learned when I'm doing a reading on somebody. I ask, please let me help them the best way that I can. I need validation. And I ask. And for me, it's a very spiritual thing. And I know that that energy will be available to me if I am supposed to be helping this person. And I trust that. And also you can feel frequency. You can feel it, energy. And you know when somebody else is also on a higher frequency, you also know that. You can read it. And the most profound readings that I get, a lot of times these people are up on a higher frequency already. They've been meditating. They're very spiritual. They're very open-minded. And their guide will shoot right in over here and say, well, this is their favorite color, and they might give me their uncle's name, their grandmother's name, somebody's name. You know, they'll give me some kind of validation.
So how has your work as a spiritual medium changed or enhanced your very own spiritual or religious beliefs?
Well, it's absolutely opened up so much for me as to what I was taught as a child. And losing that fear of dogma, that fear of tapping into something that is not supposed to be available to you. Those things I learned through reading and studying and knowing there was so much more to what I had been told or what I had been taught. So you really gain a whole sense of, you never want to stop learning. Once you tap in, once you feel that energy, you're constantly in evolution. You're constantly learning something. And you learn to keep an open mind as well.
How do you protect yourself from negative entities or negative forces trying to either disrupt you or piggyback on the side of a good or positive spirit to enter into this realm now? I'm going to let you think about that for a second because I've got to take my news break.
Okay.
X-Zone Nation, our special guest this hour, psychic medium Judi Lynch. Her website, just like I just said, www.psychicmedium.JudiLynch. We're going to be talking more about this fascinating topic. And by the way, X-Zone Nation, Judi's book, Friends with Lights, and a follow-up book entitled Conscious Ascension is available online. Once again, her website is www.psychicmedium.JudiLynch.com. And I'll be back on the other side of this news break as we continue here in the X-Zone investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology from our broadcast center in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
Exonation, Judi Lynch is our guest. She is a psychic medium. Her website, www.psychicmediumjudilynch.com. So, Judi, before we went to the break, I asked you, how do you protect yourself from having something negative from the other side piggyback onto the back of something good and try to get into this dimension, this reality?
Okay, that's a very good question. And from the very beginning, I have done a practice of visualization, meditation, prayer, surrounding myself with light, knowing that my guides are with me 24/7, and asking that this spiritual consciousness that I'm working in be protected. So I actually do these meditations every day, and I call them healing energy meditations. And I believe that staying in this frequency, yes, it is a practice. It is something that you constantly have to be aware of and to cleanse and to release. And even after you've worked with somebody and maybe they are holding a lot of negativity with them and around them, and you can feel the denseness, you can feel it, there is a special cleansing, a release that you can do, and you never really feel it affect you. There have been times when I have gone to certain places where I have absolutely felt a draining or a negativity or attachment and removed myself from that area or have asked immediately for protection. So when you are dealing up on the higher frequencies, that is something that you just make it it's a daily practice. It's a daily practice, since I'm constantly working with people and I want to stay up in that vibration. That is something that I think I have just ingrained in myself for years now, and I haven't had any issues, especially knowing now when I go certain places, be aware and protect yourself. It's really true.
Over the years, has your spirit communication gotten stronger or maybe even evolved?
I believe so in certain ways. As your confidence grows and you see other people grow with you who are also able to communicate with you, even telepathically, you know when they're going to be there, you know when they're going to call, all of those things. Yes, I would have to say yes, because not only do you meet others along the way who are in this work as well, or practicing, being with them around their energy only helps all of you strengthen the gift. So I would have to say yes, and as we grow and evolve together, we become more telepathic together.
We talked briefly about your book, Friends with Lights, A True Story. What about your second book, Conscious Ascension? What's that about?
What I shared in Conscious Ascension were a lot of the articles that I've written for OM, and they cover a lot of different metaphysical and spiritual subjects that I have studied and worked with people through the years, and also their true stories and testimonies in the book about their experiences with their readings and with the healing energy through this work. And I also included the story that's in Friends with Lights about finding my friend that needed help crossing over, and then the messages that I received after that for my friends and family. So it's got a little bit of everything in it.
What are some of the people in the spiritual and metaphysical world, what are they saying about what is going on in the world today? It seems that we're entering a shift of some sort. How do you and your fellow metaphysicians explain what we're going through?
That we are rapidly going through ascension. We're evolving faster spiritually, metaphysically than ever before in time. And as more people awaken, they find themselves questioning everything, what they may have been taught, their religion that they knew as a child, and I'm talking about people all over the world. In my experience, as the more people that I meet, it doesn't matter what religion they are, what country they're from, they all feel this shift, this heightened awareness of things, this urgency of my spiritual self is getting bigger and bigger. What do I do with this? So yes, it's something that we all know and read about was going to happen, but we see it visually happen. We feel it energetically happening, and we hear from people everywhere that tell us it is happening. So it's accelerating when you look at the things going on in the world now because of the need.
So how would you describe the ascension? Is it just leaving this evolutionary plane in spirituality and going to the next?
Well, we're in the stages of our spiritual consciousness waking up. And that means our chakras, our pineal glands, everything is opening, starting to work again. It is like they have oiled the machine and in everyone's brains, and they're turning on. So these are the steps that go, and as man understands how energy runs through their body, heals their body, helps their body ascend into light, then these are the steps right now that we are going through. That is the end result. You step into the light, so to speak. Your energy steps right into the light, leaves your body here, not because your body is in disease or your body has waste, but you are now a light being.
How would you teach someone to activate or to increase their psychic awareness?
Well, that's a good question also. What I teach is through the connection through your meditations, asking to receive energy, being in that aware state, and releasing old thought patterns, negativity. So not only are you going through a purging and a cleansing and a releasing, but you are letting in all of the new energy being brought into you, just being filtered to you from the other side into your consciousness. And it's a process of letting that in. And for me, going to that New Age meeting was one thing, but coming back, I brought that with me. But every night I meditated on that, every night. And it was changing your consciousness, what I call the DNA, the Ascension. Those things, when you reprogram your mind to understand they are available to you, your body reacts, your brain reacts. And that's how you start manifesting what we call miracles.
So we manifest the miracles, they are not from the divine?
Oh, absolutely. But you're letting in that divine energy. You're letting in the energy.
Where is this energy coming from?
Light. From the source, from the divine source of energy. Absolutely.
Have we ever decided or discovered who this source is, or what this source is, or where the source is?
Well, then again, you're asking a big question, because that depends on who you talk to and who you ask.
Right now I'm talking to you, and I'm asking you.
And it comes from the source, the God source, and that is the source of energy that releases energy to us. It is in creation. It's a part of all of us. We are all a part of it, creation, in that light.
So are we talking about the creation that we've read about in the Bible, or are we talking about a totally different creation that coincides with the metaphysical and spiritual world?
Well, I see it as a much bigger thing than what's explained in the Bible. I mean, that's only... What I am explaining is, as we were stepping into the spiritual consciousness of light, the creator of that light belongs inside of all of us. We are star seeds, okay? So there is so much more to be explained than what was able to be explained in the Bible, that when you ask me a question like that, I can tell you that there is a source of energy, a creation of energy, and we are a part of that. So if you say, does that come from God or a source, if you ask me that,
right,
yes, I would tell you yes. Yes, I believe that. But it is not a religious thing for me. It is a spiritual, metaphysical, and even a scientific thing for me. It's all included.
Now, you said scientific thing.
Yes.
Tell me about the scientific aspect, because scientifically means that you can actually reproduce and get the same results over a period of time.
Okay. We need the scientists to help evolve. We need every ray of light, okay? And funny, that is something I was just writing about, the streams of energy. The scientific stream, the orange ray. The scientific mind, when unevolved, is very unyielding, unbending, very egotistical. But when their spiritual, metaphysical side is opened and balanced, they are the ones who will help save humanity with what they have learned. That is something that I have studied. So when you ask me about science, if it weren't for science, in the future, they wouldn't be able to make sense of any of this.
But
that is true.
But how can we base a belief on something that cannot be seen by the human eye, heard?
But who has not seen it? What can't be seen by the human eye?
Let me ask you this then. Why is the metaphysical or the New Age so new if it has been seen by the human eye for all of time?
Well, that's a good question.
What's the answer?
It has been seen. It has been seen. It has been felt. It has been written about many times.
Yes, but you can say the same.
It's all in what you believe and choose to let in.
So it's based on one's own belief, not necessarily reality.
But you create out of your beliefs. You create energy out of your very belief. You can manifest out of what you believe. Absolutely. You can manifest healing your body if you believe that it can be done.
All right, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Then how come there are people around the world right now that are sick, dying, who have asked the Creator for another chance because they believe in their heart of hearts that He can save them, and yet they die?
And that is something that you would have to ask, not me, because I don't make those choices.
No.
I don't.
I understand that.
But I understand what you are saying.
Yeah.
But I also understand that as energy, as spirit, there is no death in that. And we choose to incarnate here. We can have many lives here and choose when we're not going to be in this body anymore and come back
Is
in
it
another
possible?
body.
Is it possible that we are telling ourselves that death is not real in order to avoid death's finality?
Some people believe that.
Yeah.
Some people believe that. But when you're a channeler and when you have delivered messages from beyond, it doesn't make any sense to you. It makes no sense to me to ever say that again. Even if I ever thought it,
Right.
it doesn't make any sense. And I have seen energy with my eyes. I have seen light with my eyes. I've had other people with me. So it doesn't make any sense to me. I can never go back to believing that again. And your beliefs can kill you. You know, if you believe bad enough, I have had people walk up and say, well, when I'm this age, I'm just going to die because there's nothing else for me to do. And bam, they do.
Yeah, but
They
people,
have told
that could be
themselves
that could be a cop out for them as well. You know, like they can
Well,
will
of
themselves.
course.
Sure. You know, so
But you know,
so
your body's going to listen to your mind, Rob. Your body's going to listen to what your mind is telling it, and that I truly believe as well.
But once again, there's that word, belief.
But I also believe.
Why don't you say I know?
I know.
For a fact.
Okay, I know for a fact.
What's-
I do.
All right, so how do you
But
prove
my
that
belief,
fact?
my belief is also what I know. To me, I know for a fact that I did not know these people that I write down these things for. No way that I could have ever known these things. I know that I have been in a spiritual center.
And
seen
I know I've
people
got to take a commercial break. Please stand by. We'll be back on the other side of this break with psychic medium Judi Lynch. www.psychicmediumjudilynch.com, and we'll be back on the other side of this very short break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. You're listening to the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Psychic medium Judi Lynch is our guest of this hour, Exonation. Her website is www.psychicmediumjudilynch. So, Judi, how can you help others to heighten their energy frequencies to be able to communicate with spirit like you do?
Well, I work with a lot of people right now on heightening their energy through meditation, through the study of the spiritual consciousness and their life themes. And they work a lot on things that they're trying to let go of to heighten their sense of awareness, to get rid of any blockages that they may have, any fears, and help them with exercises on practicing telepathy, aura, energies, and how to use their gift and their intuition to help them through life, and if they want to help others in how to do that and how to practice that. So there's a lot of steps that you take and daily practices that we work on, and a lot of meditations, and even down to diet, exercise, getting out in nature, spending time alone, and doing all the things that put you in creation. If they're very creative, you know, we work on those type of things, where their heart is, where their soul is, how they want to help others, how this can help them in their life. And it really helps when people have lost someone and they are missing their loved ones.
Why does that?
That.
Why does that help?
To have comfort, to know that they're stronger than they think. That there's help from the other side there with them at all times.
Right.
They need to feel that they're supported spiritually, and that their loved ones are nearby. And it's just comforting to know. And when you're missing someone like that, it really helps to know that you can keep their memories alive, but you can go on with your life. That there's other things coming to you, and not to give up. It's important for a lot of people to feel that they have purpose in life, and those people that they've lost, what they taught them and what they meant in their life is invaluable to them. So they want to keep their memories alive. They want to know that they're in heaven if they believe that that just sets their soul at ease. And it's a wonderful thing for me to know that's where my loved ones are, and I can feel their love and their energy. So.
All right, Judi, I want to thank you very much for joining us. Exo Nation, our guest this hour has been Judi Lynch. She is a psychic medium. Her website is www.psychicmediumjudilynch.com. That's psychicmediumjudilynch.com. And she's the author of 2 books, Consciousness Ascension and Friends with Lights, a true story, both available online. I'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.